Hi, I'm Abigail Follis.
And I'm Carly Roberts. Welcome to this edition of Tiger Broadcast.
On this edition, we'll be covering how the line between elementary and middle school is fading, how one rehabilitation center is saving the lives of animals, and the problem with school curriculum.
Stay tuned for all this and more on this edition of Tiger Broadcast.
I believe that we will win.
The transition from 6th grade to middle school is a big one, but now that huge change is coming quicker than you think. Reporter Kyle Girding and Carly Roberts bring us this story.
There will be some new changes introduced to the Lee Summit School District in the 2022-2023 school year.
Overall, I think it'll be a good thing for students. I think they're going to get better instruction. There's more opportunities for extracurricular activities.
With plans of 6th grade leaving elementary school and joining middle school, this unanimous decision has been in the works for years.
I think we were all on the same page, knowing that the 6th graders are so much more mature than when I was in 6th grade, and they'll get so much out of it. They'll be able to do clubs, they'll be able to do more band, just the experience, I think, is what we all thought.
Though there is a multitude of opportunities for the young students, there is always a concern with a big environment shift like this.
Because it's a transition from a smaller school and less homework to a lot of homework in a bigger school.
As scary as it might seem for them, coming out of 5th grade and going to the big middle school, I think it's going to be a positive change overall.
There seems to be a lot of optimism about this plan, but some conflicts arise when it comes to what will happen to the current 6th grade teachers.
That's the big question. So to me, that it would probably be the biggest challenge, is just figuring out the logistics of everything. I'm sure there's probably a lot of 6th grade teachers now that are elementary certified and may not be able or may not want to go to the middle school. So it'll be interesting to find out how all of that's going to be arranged.
The school district has already begun looking for solutions to this problem.
HR has already looked into this, and there's already 55 teachers in the 6th grade that can move up. Dr. Del Sim, who's in charge of HR, did the same thing in her other former district. So she's it's not anything new to her.
While the district works out the kinks of this new change, there's a positive outlook on the future.
Overall, I see it as a positive change because, like I said, the quality of instruction will be better. I think we can meet the needs of 6th graders better in a middle school environment.
I think that it would be cool because then they get to experience it earlier.
I think it's very exciting for them. If you haven't noticed, I just feel like they're so much more mature and they have more opportunities, and I'm just really excited actually for the change.
Signing out for Tiger Broadcast, I'm Kyle Girding.
A face you may be familiar with around school is not only known for being a great teacher, but is now getting recognition for something else. Reporter Amaya House and Olivia McKee roll us into this next story.
Throughout the years of coaching high school soccer at LSHS, varsity head coach Dave Wiebengay has found techniques that work for not only him, but his players as well.
I really worked hard at that part of it. In the games, I do a lot more, again, teaching on the bench versus screaming across the field. I need the players to be engaged in the game. And I think if the players aren't doing what we've asked them to do in the match, then that's a reflection of how we trained.
Wiebengay isn't known for only teaching the game of soccer, but forming those important relationships with his players that last a lifetime.
So one of the main things that separates him, that makes him different, is that he has great relationships with all his players. If you come to games, sometimes you'll hear other coaches screaming at their players when they do something wrong, whereas he's more of he'll talk to you, tell you what you did wrong, how you can fix it, and what to do next time. And that makes a big difference out there because you're not as scared to play, you're more relaxed, and that's when you play your best.
Throughout Wiebengay's teaching career, his drive for the game of soccer and his caring personality did not go unnoticed.
Being named Coach of the Year is really not, I really don't see it as a reflection on what I'm doing personally as much as what my staff is doing. I have what I consider the best staff in the state of Missouri, and I don't think I get better as a coach if I don't have staff that's going to challenge me to do my job better. And I think that's why one of the reasons we're successful, along with our great players and the support that we have from our community.
Our coaching staff has been working together for so long, and they all help each other in different ways with their strengths and weaknesses. They all balance out perfectly, and then it comes together and works out really well on the field.
The LSHS boys soccer team are not the only ones who believe that their skills have gotten them far in the competitive soccer world.
They're tough competitors. Like they compete. They're very, very strong mentally and physically. I mean, they've got a lot of skill. They have a lot of talent, and Coach Wiebenge is a great coach. But one of the things that he has within his program is those players play with a real drive and a real force. And they really make you work, and they challenge you in every aspect of your game.
Coach Wiebenge has put in a lot of work to improve his team, but he is still learning every day to continue to reach his goals.
It's just the experience. It's learning what works, what doesn't work, adding your own little spin, learning from the best around, but I'm also, thinking about the game critically on my own.
With the boys soccer team in good hands, Wiebenge is continuing to push his team to victory during this year's soccer season. Signing out for Tiger Broadcast,
For your league, Summit Tigers.
I'm Amaya House.
As colder weather rolls around, one local wildlife center is helping injured animals prepare. Reporter Michaela Humble and Abigail Fallis take us inside Wild Souls.
Some residents are not big fans of squirrels, raccoons, or possums. However, one local shelter is quite fond of these rodents.
Wild Souls is a wildlife rescue and rehab facility. We rescue Native American wildlife such as skunks, squirrels, possums, rabbits, raccoons, and then we do some like foxes, coyotes, but they go down to Lakeside, downtown.
Wild Souls began in 2018 with a mission to help injured and misplaced animals with the goal of eventually sending them back into the wild.
It just depends on what their need is, like their age range. If they need milk, we'll start them off with milk, syringe feeding, tube feeding. If they're a little older, like our squirrels, they'll get their fruits, their veggies, the seed. So we do what we can to feed them.
No matter the age, all of the animals are checked out by a doctor before meeting other animals.
If they're injured, they get seen by our vet here in Oak Grove. All the animals get vaccinated when they come into us. So all of them have their vaccines. They're confined for 24 hours.
Though they are taken care of by humans, they are not meant to be pets.
We don't want them to be super friendly with humans because then they struggle to get back out into the wild. But we definitely try to get them back into like groups with each other. So like the squirrels are together, the raccoons are together. That way they have friends when they go out into the wild.
Humans helping the furry friends get back into their original habitat is not as hard as it may seem.
We have a Facebook page, so Wild Souls Wildlife Rescue and Rehab. So you can follow that. If you have an injured animal or it's an orphan animal, doesn't have a parent around, you can contact our 800 number, and that will get you in contact with us, normally me, and then I will call you and decide if it needs to be transported and then bring it here.
No matter the type of animals residents may want to help, Cheyenne has one piece of advice.
So really what the community can do is just get their education through us, not Google. Like, don't do what Google says, don't do certain milks, don't Pedialyte, nothing like that. Just contact us first.
Signing out for Tiger Broadcast.
I like it all. The raccoons are my favorite.
This is Michaela Humble.
Standardized testing has caused a lot of controversy in recent years. Some teachers believe their students are not reaching their full potential. Reporter Reagan Clark and Bailey Birchfield gives us a glimpse of how schools are teaching to the test.
Waking up at 6 a.m. each morning to attend school is not a favorable activity for anyone.
It's the same routine every single day. It's very repetitive.
It's difficult to be creative when you're sitting in one of those small desks that, maybe you're left-handed and they have the right-handed arm.
Another struggle for students is that many schools teach to the test.
You took a test, you made this grade, and you don't know these things, but we're moving on to the next unit.
A lot of the teachers mainly just try to get through the curriculum and just test.
They show you what you don't know, but you don't go back and learn it.
Well, the thing is, schools have now put their whole curriculum based on how students will perform well on tests. But tests aren't going to show you how someone's going to be successful in the future.
To some students, problems with our educational system are rooted in what many students do not do in the classroom.
It's actually collaborating with schools and doing hands-on projects and actually building the skills that they need later in life.
And then taking more realistic classes like personal finance. Personal finance is, I think, a great class that will help somewhat prepare people for life after college.
On the other side of the classroom, teachers are limited to a certain extent on how they perpetuate learning.
It's actually teacher driven, but all teachers are expected to teach that curriculum. I can vary the complexity of that learning target, but we all are kind of held to that standard of these are the prescribed learning targets that all 10th graders will do, 11th graders, 12th graders, and so on.
One target of school is standardized testing, yet some question how necessary it is.
It's supposed to be able to predict how successful you would be at college.
The guys that scored well in the ACT are not the guys that are the 4.0s. We take the ACT because it's supposed to show if you're going to be successful in college or not. Being successful in college all depends on your grit.
Good or bad score, one's worth comes from beyond the test.
No letter grade's ever going to define you. No teacher's going to define you. No class is going to define you. High school is not going to define you. Who you are is going to define you. Your work ethic is going to define you. We define kids too much, too early. We say, you have this disease, this learning disease, this learning disease. No. The only thing that's ever going to define any student is what's right inside here. That's all that's going to define them.
Signing out for Tiger Broadcast, this is Reagan Clark.
Visiting a foreign country is not something just anyone gets to experience, but one LSHS student got the trip of a lifetime. Reporter Emma Osterling, PZ Log, give us this last story.
Learning a language can benefit you in many ways, but can be very difficult. For one student here at LSHS, she took this challenge with stride.
I just really find German culture really important to me personally, and I find that learning another language just on a basic level is extremely important because not only does it enhance cognitive ability, but it helps you understand different cultures better. It gives you a more mindful mindset.
Other than just learning the language, traveling to the country itself can have a big impact on how you see the culture.
It just opens the door to understand the culture when you actually see the things we talk about, when you communicate with people, when you see the experience why you learn the language. It's just an experience nobody can take away from you.
Libby was one of the few lucky students to actually get this opportunity. She was one of 4 in the whole continent to win a scholarship from the American Association of Teachers of German. This scholarship allowed her to travel to Germany and live what she had been learning for the last 4 years.
So I had a host sister named Teresa, and she lived in a small village called Peting, which is near Bad Reichenhall. Whenever I traveled there, it was actually only me. The program gave me the option of choosing which city I wanted to visit, and so I chose Bad Reichenhall because of the lush traditions and everything. The place that I was staying at was in Bavaria, which is the southern part of Germany. And so they have more of the stereotypical German things that we think of, like the pretzels and the lederhosen and the beer and the dirndls, which are the traditional dresses.
This trip not only helped Libby learn more about the culture, but also learn more about the language itself.
Obviously, going to another country and only speaking a language that you're not fluent in the entire time is kind of difficult, but it does make your speaking abilities a lot better. It exposes you to small tidbits that you wouldn't really learn in a classroom. And it was honestly just a lot of fun. Being exposed to another culture like that is always something that I find interesting.
If you would like to experience an amazing opportunity like this or apply for a scholarship, you can email or get in contact with Ms. Cano for more information. Signing out for Tiger Broadcast.
Danke für das Fernsehen. Tschüss!
This is PZ Lauk.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Tiger Broadcast.
For packages, short films, and more, go to www.tigerbroadcast.com or follow us on Twitter at TBTV8Tigers. Once again, I'm Carly Roberts.
And I'm Abigail Falls. See you next time.
I think it's very exciting for them.
He has great relationships with all his players.
Get their education through us.
And you don't know these things, but we're moving on to the next unit.
And it was honestly just a lot of fun.